Being in the military requires a very unique balance of strength, speed, and endurance. But more often than ever before, I see men that leave the forces get weaker, slower, and fatter. How is this happening? What is actually happening? And how the hell do we actually prevent this? There are a few things that I have done in the last 10 years since leaving the military that have led me to being fitter, faster, and stronger, now nearly at 36, than I ever was whilst I was serving. So today I'm going to share with you my 5 top tips for getting your performance, your health, and your physique back to an elite level from wherever you currently are. Let's dive in.
Right, getting straight into it then. Tip number 1, learn more about the things that you actually want to get better at. Now, do not worry, I'm not about to tell you to start rifling your way through strength and conditioning journals. Luckily, there is an easier way. Now, you are already way ahead of the game by the fact that you are watching this video, so you are definitely ahead of the curve in regards to self-education. And even if you're watching something that is kind of quote-unquote entertaining and that's the primary kind of objective, there will be some educational nuggets kind of hidden in there. Some of the things that have really stuck with me that I've learned over the last few years have been in educational pieces on YouTube. But again, I don't know whether it's deliberate or conscious from the content creator or not, but they seem to sneak in things that really stick with me. And I'm like, flipping heck, I didn't really realize that that's how that worked, or that this helps and X helps Y. And it can just be amazing when you actually start to expose yourself to more stuff that is within the kind of the realm and the information bubble of what you're interested in, and who knows what you'll pick up. And there are loads of ways to do this, right? I mean, if you're interested in, getting fitter and getting better at running generally, as an example, watch some Nick Bare vlogs. They're super entertaining. He's a really inspirational guy. He's one of my favorite content creators. And even if it's like of entertainment purposes, he will talk about things like heart rate zones. He'll talk about things like pacing. And you'll just start to vicariously pick up on this stuff in a way that doesn't feel as though you're flipping sitting down and having to learn. So you don't really get that sticking point. You don't really get that massive amount of activation energy that's needed, because you feel as though you're just chilling out, having your lunch and watching a YouTube video. But lo and behold, you're picking up some really flipping good tips from some of the best guys in the world as they're just sharing their full day in the life of, or their full day of training and eating. And that's one of the best things about YouTube as a platform generally. I mean, I know, preach to the choir because you're watching this right now. But I think exposing yourself to roughly the information bubbles that might contain a little bit of information or entertainment and education of the types of fitness that you're interested in. Have a little bit of specificity with, do I primarily want to get better at running? So watch some stuff with Nick Bare. Do I primarily want to get stronger? So watch some stuff from like Mark Bell or the Power Project. And if it's more general health and biohacking, look at some stuff from like Ben Greenfield, or watch a podcast of, Chris Williamson from Modern Wisdom, or watch a Diary of a CEO. They've got loads of nutritionists on there. They've got loads of biohacking experts. Watch Buff Bros, whatever, man. I mean, again, these are like entertainment pieces. The good news is there are just downstream side effects, and you almost learn a shitload by accident. And number 2, guys, be honest with yourself, truly flipping objectively honest about what you need to keep yourself accountable to making sure that regardless of whether or not you experience a bit of a motivation drop, your compliance rate stays high, both in the fact that you keep going and you keep training hard. For me, there's 2 different things that really help with this. One of them is frequently attend a new gym, just a new environment, new people, new vibe, new machines, kind of new music being played. That thing, probably every kind of 6 weeks, if I go to a new gym for like 3 or 4 sessions in a row, it's enough of like a pattern disrupt for me that I just feel flipping amazing. I'm like, okay, this is new, and it just sparks a little bit of curiosity to everything and all of the new equipment. I'm like, it's amazing. And obviously I'm a bit of a novelty seeker anyway, so for me that really helps. The other subheading under this point of keep yourself accountable is arrange regular sessions where you train with your friends. I'm very lucky that I travel with my buddies regularly, so having people on call that I can do some of my strength sessions or my conditioning sessions with helps me hugely, man. And this is where, if you're not doing this regularly right now, but you feel as though you benefit from this, I'm gonna lovingly challenge you to be a little bit flipping braver and reach out to one of your friends and just say, training's getting a little bit boring, mate. It'd be great if we could, chew the fat and shoot some shit over a barbell some point in the next couple of weeks. You fancy getting together for a pump session? They don't need to be as experienced as you. They can be more experienced than you. They don't need to be at the same strength level or conditioning level. Everything's scalable, but just think about it for 2 minutes and you can put together a session that's going to benefit both of you. But frequently going with someone else is just a really good way for me to, again, just inject a little bit of fire and do the absolute flipping primarily foundationally important thing that we all need to make sure our compliance is high, which is to make it fun again.
Now, training hard is all well and good, but let's not forget that the actual adaptation from all the hard work that we put in actually takes place and happens physiologically during times of rest,
chill and sleep. If we don't get this, we'll burn out. You'll stay slightly fat, super weak, very sore, and extremely tired. So don't do that. So my third tip is doubling down on recovery and making sure you truly flip and accept and realize just how important this stuff is. It is not an excuse to be lazy. It is not an excuse to just smash some trail mix in front of your favorite Netflix show. However, at a genuine physiological level, again, the stuff that we do in the gym, on the road, on the track, wherever, whatever kind of training that we are doing, that is the stimulus. That is the thing that elicits all the puzzle pieces for that adaptation. But the adaptation can only actually take place when we're chilling out just like this. Having something called NSDR, which is what's called non-sleep deep rest, for Andrew Huberman recommends kind of about 10-15 minutes. I think probably a little bit longer than that, closer to 30 to 60 minutes per day, where you do whatever you need to do to basically showcase to your body that you are not in a fight or flight response. And in the modern hectic world, that can be really, really hard. So making sure, in addition to carving out time to actually train and get the stimulus that we want, making sure that you have like adaptation time, however you want to reframe it, to make sure that you then habituate it and make sure that you realize just how important this stuff is just as crucial to get the result that we want. That might be a nice slow walk, it might be lying on your back with your legs up against the wall, it might be doing some breath work, which sounds a little bit woo-woo, but I personally think is actually incredibly beneficial to switch us from like the fight or flight, the sympathetic nervous system state, into what's called the parasympathetic nervous system state, nicknamed the rest and digest state. This is not overly holistic or an excuse that weak people use. Basically, if you are always in the sympathetic nervous system state, your body is just going to think that you're in danger zone the whole time. And if you don't do this stuff and you don't relax properly, it causes a host of downstream effects. Your hormones change, your sleep quality becomes rubbish, you store far more fat, and your body doesn't feel comfortable to allow itself to slip into the state where it's chilled, knows that it's safe, and therefore can actually do things like repair damaged muscle tissue, look after your central nervous system so you actually get bigger and stronger and fitter. So realizing just how important this stuff is when we reframe it and think that it is a crucial part of the puzzle for actually getting an improvement in the stuff that we want to improve in, doubling down on recovery and reframing that so that it's something you actually invest in, is my third tip of the day.
And the next thing is to find a program that basically does two things. It blends a nice unique balance of preference. Basically you have to flip and enjoy the process. And the second thing is specificity in terms of what exactly it is that you're trying to do. So as an example, I want to be a good quality all-rounder. I had ankle surgery about 6 months ago. So one of the things that's important to me right now is basically making sure that I'm able to get a little bit more time on feet and improve my running. And so because of that, I need some running in my bloody program. So I'm here at the track because with what I'm doing right now, it's got a certain amount of time that this component is included in whatever the hell it is that I'm doing. But making sure that that is balanced with preference and actually enjoyment is flipping necessary. Because as we know, motivation does basically drop down. So if you don't like, well, if you set a goal, but that goal requires you to execute things that you're not particularly enjoying and that you don't like the process of, first and foremost, it's going to go to shit very quickly. Find a goal, an objective that you genuinely care about, and ensure that the stuff that is required to execute that is moderately enjoyable. Because realistically, 6 months in, objective number one is just making sure that you're still fucking compliant to the program. And finding a goal that you actually want to chase and is yours and you haven't inherited it from somewhere else, and that requires work that you actually enjoy, that's a no-brainer. Right, it's enough waffle, let's get going.
And tip 5, give yourself a reason and bolster the way in which you are able to hold yourself accountable. There are a couple of different ways that you can do this. For me, one of the things that's always helped has basically entering an event sometime in the future. Fear of embarrassment, especially as you get a little bit older, can be a big deal and can be a very motivating force. So it makes sense that we don't shy away from this, just use it. I'm not saying you have to prep to go on stage and enter a bodybuilding event or enter something that you're really not that interested in. But if you enter even a flipping, local 5K run or an obstacle course race, OCRs I think are kind of a great balance of everything, and they feel a bit more hardcore, but they are done in a very light-hearted way. So I think they're absolutely ace. And again, the benefit is not only the fact that you might be able to look good and hopefully perform well on the day, it also means that realistically having a prospective date in the diary between 1 and 4 months ahead down the line means that you're probably going to work a little bit harder every single session between now and then, knowing that you've got that thing coming up. If there's no reason to be fit and strong, as all of us are very kind of purpose-driven men, create a reason, book this thing in, pay some flipping money for it. I guarantee you that your training and recovery and nutrition, even micro changes on the run up, will hold you accountable to just working a little bit harder, making sure everything's a little bit tighter in your routine. And it's hands down one of the best ways that I have ever found in overcoming the inertia of kind of getting back into a routine. If you're kind of bimbling through training right now, or if you're not doing anything, having something in the diary a couple of months down the line means that when you get out of bed, or you've got to pack your gym bag, you've got to get to the gym, and you've actually got to reinitiate and habituate that part of your life, the part of the life that we know yields so many benefits. You get so much bloody activation energy just knowing that thing's coming. So getting the ball rolling, getting some momentum, and overcoming that initial really flipping sticky bit of inertia is a hell of a lot easier. 5 or 10k park run, local 10k event, obstacle course race, enter the CrossFit Open if you need to. Tell people that you're doing this, and then you get a little bit of positive pressure from those as well. And when you make that public declaration, that could be another great little hack as well. Let's wrap this one up there, guys. If you did enjoy today's video, please do smash that like button. It takes you 2 seconds. It's incredibly beneficial for the growth of the channel, and it punts us into the deep dark waters of the YouTube algorithm, which is always very helpful. Any questions on anything, please put it down in the comment section below. If you haven't yet done so, make sure you subscribe. I'm watching you. In fact, I'll give you 2 seconds to do it now. Did you do it? Did you do it? Good. If you want to watch some more of my content, click on either one of the thumbnails here and enjoy the next 15 minutes of your life. And as always, guys, stay strong, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I'll see you all in the next video.